The next one in line is Tamar, is the date. Now, what does it say about Tamar? There's a pasuk that says, Tzadik Tamar Yifrach. A righteous person will grow like a Tamar, like a date. On the Tamar, there's a lot to say. One thing that we can take from that this tree doesn't have any garbage. In Hebrew, it's called psolet. Everything in this tree we use. The fruit, we eat. The leaves, we make a lulav out of it. The branches, we make a schach out of it. We make a cover for our sukkah. Everything that comes out from this tree, I use it for something. I don't throw anything. There's no waste in this tree. Meaning that in everything that is in my life can be utilized for something. It shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be used. It shouldn't be disposed. If Hashem gave me something, it has to be utilized. Meaning to saying, in other words, it says "V'amech kulam tzadikim," that we're all compared to a tzaddik, means that in me there's a potential to be a tzaddik, to grow to be in the level of a tzaddik. There's a potential, of course, but more than that, I need to take from that this element shows in me that there's nothing in me that should not be used. Anything that I have, that Hashem gave me, has to be utilized for my avodat Hashem. Everything in me is positive. There's no such a thing that something is negative in me. In me, when I'm saying in me, in each and every one of you. And I have to have this knowledge, there's nothing negative in me. If something is negative in me, it means that I brought it in. It's not coming from me. We just spoke about the negative thoughts and many other negative things. It means that I brought it in me. So if I can recognize something negative in me, it's not part of me. It has to be removed out. Because I can only produce positive things. Exactly like the Tamar, nothing goes to waste. The fruit I can eat, the leaves I can use, the branches I can use. Meaning that everything the Kadosh Baruch Hu gave me has to be utilized for avodat Hashem, and it's positive. So if the Kadosh Baruch Hu gave me a talent, it seems to me irrelevant. I like sewing, I like cooking, I don't know what. Each one has a talent. Every individual in the world has at least one talent and one thing that they like a lot that is called a hobby. And it wasn't given by chance. It means that that's where I'm unique. And I have to take my uniqueness and utilize it to avodat Hashem. And if I don't, then I'm wasting my talent. And almost in anything that you can point on it as a talent can be used for avodat Hashem. You just have to be creative. And a lot of people says, well, I don't have a talent. There's no such a thing. You might be very talented in teaching people. You might be very talented in dancing, in singing, in playing an instrument. Doesn't matter what it is. Most likely, there is something that you're talented in. Now you have to connect it. How do I bring it to my service of God? The point is that each and every one of us has this unbelievable hidden talent that the Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us. And if I'm not utilizing it for avodat Hashem, that it's mamash doing a sorrow to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And each and every one of us has something, and you have to find it in you. Doesn't matter what it is. And you have to utilize it to avodat Hashem. And this is the point of the Tamar. Next. The next one in line is grapes, geffen. Now, what do we associate with geffen, with wine, with grapes? Happiness, simcha. All the mitzvot that we do with wine is simcha. We do kiddush, we say lechaim, everything is besimcha with geffen, which comes to teach us we don't have to go too much into details. Ivdu et Hashem besimcha. All my service of God has to be done with happiness. I should not even encounter one moment of my day to be not in happiness. The Torah actually tells me that when a person is being judged for doing chas v'shalom a sin, is that he's being judged for doing something not with simcha. Ekev asher lo avatem et Hashem besimcha v'tuv levav. That's what I'm going to be judged for. I'm not necessarily going to be judged for the mitzvah, for the sin. I'm going to be judged for the fact that I did not do it besimcha. Meaning that I have a mitzvah from the Torah, a commandment to be besimcha. I am all day long commandment to do my avodat Hashem besimcha. And this is where the geffen comes to teach me. Next is the fig, is te'ena. Now, te'ena is a very interesting fruit. It has a few different qualities from other fruits. The first quality is that we eat the seeds. If you noticed, as we go by the hierarchy, then the first one is the olive. I do not eat the pit. It's hard and disgusting. The next one, which is the date, I don't eat the pit. The third one was already grapes. Some eat the pits, some don't. Most people spit them out, but some just eat the whole grape. They don't care. In the fig already, I eat the seeds are in the figs, in the figs, and I eat it. And the next one in line is the pomegranate. The seed is what I eat. The red pieces of the pomegranate, that's the seeds. So as they go down in line, we see that the pit, the inside, the pnimiut, is hard and not edible. The last one, I actually eat the pit. In the fig, the seeds, we actually eat them. The next difference from all the fruit in the fig, that's all year round the tree produces fruit. The fig doesn't produce itself in one time. You take the fruit off the tree, a week later they have new fruit. It constantly renews itself. This is the quality of the fig. And this comes to teach me that I can constantly renew myself. I don't produce something one time, I constantly produce things. First of all, I can eat the seeds itself, which means that they don't harm me. More than that, it comes and tells me that I can constantly produce Torah and mitzvahs. There's no season in Torah and mitzvahs, and there's no season for me to renew myself. Now, the next one, of course, is the last one, which is pomegranate, which is another very interesting fruit. That, like I said before, that the actual fruit is the seed. And a lot of people I know, they maybe bite or they suck the juice out and they spit the remaining. But when you eat the pomegranate, what you really eat is actually the seeds. Now it says about the rimon, כפלח הרימון רקתך. And what is it basically saying? What do our sages say? That the same way that the pomegranate is filled with seeds, so are we filled with good deeds. The verse, how it says, and this is said in the Gemara, in Tractate Sanhedrin, that even the wicked one of us is full of mitzvahs like a rimon. So there's a funny story that one time a certain individual came to the Lubavitcher Rebbe and he told him, if the Gemara is saying שהרשע, הרשעים, wicked ones, are full of mitzvot, are full of mitzvot like a pomegranate, how can it be that it's saying that a wicked person is full of mitzvot? So the Lubavitcher Rebbe answered him, if they're full of mitzvot, how can they be called Rashaim? Very good question. Because the Gemara, the Talmud says that it's talking about a wicked person that is full of mitzvahs. So one should ask it the other way around. If they're full of mitzvahs, how can they be called wicked people? The reality is that there are many versions of this question. Really. Because a lot of people come and say, oh, don't talk so bad about other Jews. All the Jews, even the bad ones, are full of mitzvahs. So, of course, this is judging to kaf zchut everybody in the street by saying, oh, he's a complete wicked person, but he's full of mitzvahs. The reality is it doesn't matter who you are. You just wake up in the morning and you say good morning to your wife. That's it. You did a mitzvah. So even a person that might be a wicked person based on the terminology of the heavenly court, he still does a lot of mitzvot. He doesn't have to wear a yarmulke and wear a beard and put tefillin on. I'm not saying that that's the right way. But just by being courteous to 10 people on the street and helping this person and doing this and doing that, by default you are full of mitzvahs, whether you want it or not. I'm not saying that that's the way to go by saying, oh, I'm nice to my wife and I'm nice to my neighbor and that's it, I'm good to go. Torah doesn't exempt me from all the rest of the mitzvot. The point to look at it from that is not to say, okay, that person is wicked, he has a lot of mitzvot. That's not what it's coming to teach us. What it's coming to teach us is one of the most important lessons that I have to go by. That if you notice, by all these 7 species that we just went through, so let's do a quick recap before we go to the Rimon that is placed in the last one. The first one, it says that I have to apply Torah into my life, take the chita, take the 22 letters of the Torah and plant it in my life and learn Torah and do mitzvot. It says that the wheat is food, lo ala lechem atzmo ala adam yicheh, that our main sustenance is bread, but it also says that Torah is food for my neshama. So I have to understand from that I have to have Torah in my life. This is the basics. Then we said the Torah is the measurement, how much I'm feeding my Yetzer Hara. Then the Torah, I have to plant the seeds. That's, I said, regardless. The concept of the tree. I'm just doing a quick recap of the 7 species before I explain the Rimon. Just so we will be fresh in our mind, because half an hour ago we already forgot what I said. So the Sorah, the Chita is my Torah. Sorah is the measurement, how much I'm limiting myself and my Yetzer, my Nefesh HaBehemit. The Zayit, the olive, is to understand and to accept that there has to be some bitterness in my life. And the bitterness better be from the Kadosh Baruch Hu and not from something else. I have to apply myself in my avodat HaShem. I have to help other people. Then comes the Tamar, that there's nothing that I have to I have to have some type of positive ego in me, that I am good, I'm not a loser, I'm not good for nothing. I have a lot of good things in me that can be utilized for avodat HaShem and be shared with the world. Then I have the Teina, excuse me, the Geffen. Everything has to be done besimcha, and if it's not, then take a little lechaim, so it will be done besimcha. But my entire avodat Hashem has to be done with joy. Then the Teina means that all year long, there's no seasons to the Torah. It has to be done all day long. And then I'm meeting with the last one, which is the pomegranate. That our sages, what do they compare the pomegranate? That even a wicked person is full of mitzvahs. And this boils down to the most important thing, is when our sages say, Vedan kol adam lekaf zchut. You have to look at every person and see just the good in them. And this boils down to one act that is the foundation of everything. And this is called Ahavat Chinam, Ahavat Israel. Is that I'm very quick to judge another person and says, look how the person is wicked. They desecrate Shabbat, they lie, they cheat, he's going with this woman, he said Lashon Hara. All day long, we're judging people not to kaf zchut. Why? Because we see the wicked person in them. We don't see the mitzvahs that are in them. And really, each and every one of us is full of mitzvahs. Doesn't matter how long your beard is and how much modest you are. And don't take my words the wrong way. I'm not saying that doing half is good. You have to do everything. I'm not giving discounts. I'm looking at it at a completely different angle. Is that where we fail the most is that we look at another person and we don't see the good in that person, we see the bad in that person.